We have to go to the airport, though. Ecowas leaders are arriving this morning for a meeting at the Mediation Lodge. The high-powered meeting will discuss how to resolve the ongoing crisis in Mali. And as you know, our president is chairman of Ecowas, which means he's hosting these guests. Manuel Kranting is roving from the airport. Manuel, what can you report? Who has arrived?
Yeah, so Mama V, I'm at the Kotoka International Airport, where the high-powered delegation of ECOWAS is supposed to be touching down here for their all-important meeting at the Mediation Lodge later today. You just missed the arrival of Faure Gnassingbé, who is president of Togo. They are arriving here. We're also expecting that the president of Senegal, we're expecting Sierra Leone, we're expecting Burkina Faso, and so on and so forth. Just about, 8 heads of state are to join the ones who have arrived already. I'm told that we have the president of Guinea, Professor Alpha Condé. He's also here. And then the 2 delegations, like the 2 factions from Mali, they've also arrived here in Accra already ahead of the meeting later today. You remember that, earlier in June, what has now come to be known as the June 5, rebellion or junta was carried out in Mali, which ousted the sitting president, Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. And so, the ECOWAS Commission has been leading talks and negotiations really to bring an amicable solution to what the situation is in Mali. And so this meeting, as I'm describing to you, is supposed to begin, processes that will eventually lead to the finality of the situation in Mali. There have been some timelines that have been given to the leaders of the uprising there. They're supposed to have handed over to a peaceful, or if you like, a democratic government for a 1-year transition by September 15. That deadline is today. And so this meeting is supposed to give us a picture of whether or not that deadline will be met today. So some contingent from the Navy are here who have been welcoming the dignitaries as they arrive. Like I said earlier, we've gotten the arrival of the Togolese president, Faure Gnassingbé, who would also be receiving a number of others. I've been able to spot the senior minister, Yao Safo-Mafo. He's leading the Ghanaian government delegation who are welcoming the dignitaries, the foreign dignitaries here. I've spotted also the Minister of Zongo Development, the Honorable Mustafa Hamid, and definitely, of course, the Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Shirley Ayoko Boche. She's been also here. So they've walked His Excellency Faure Gnassingbé into the Jubilee Lodge, where he's supposed to proceed to his hotel and prepare for the all-important meeting later today. So we don't know what exactly is going to be the outcome of the meeting that they will have at Mediation today, but for many of the international relations analysts and so on who have been commenting on the situation in Mali, the ECOWAS intervention is supposed to be, what would, as it were, turn on the valve to lead to processes of restoring a democratic government in Mali. And really, the woes of Mali did not start today. In 2012, what was known as the Tuareg Rebellion started when opposition were criticizing the government for what they called weak management of corruption issues and so on and so forth. In 2013, the now ousted President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita was brought in and given, a timeline to, as it were, lead peace talks. Those peace talks seem to have also broken down. A reason you are having, the uprising, which went down on June 5. So, that's the atmosphere here. Generally, Mama V, we're expecting that more of the dignitaries will be arriving here at Kotoka. I'm told by the press attaché to the delegation here that we are expecting delegation from Niger. We are expecting delegation from Nigeria. We're expecting a delegation also from Burkina Faso. We're expecting a delegation from Cote d'Ivoire. Guinea, I've already mentioned. Professor Alpha Conde touched down in Accra yesterday, and so he's already here. Colonel Assimi Goita, he's the leader of the delegation from Mali, and we're expecting that they will cooperate with the Ecowas Commission, which is chaired by His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I must at this point mention, though, that the lead mediator for today's engagement is His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, and he's supposed to lead the talks and essentially bring some, finality, or if you like, even a roadmap that will lead to the finality that most of the onlookers and then also the patrons of the ECOWAS area are expecting. And so there's an AU High Representative for Mali, and then there's Sahel, His Excellency Pierre Bouyaya. He's also expected to touch down. In fact, I'm told he's already touched down. He touched down yesterday at 1700 hours yesterday, and he will be at the end of the government from Mali, while Colonel Assimi Goita will be speaking for the uprising in Mali later today. And so generally, as I'm saying, this is the feeling here. We've gotten the touchdown of the Togolese president, and we are expecting up next the touchdown of the Senegalese president, His Excellency Macky Sall. He will be touching down very soon, and we can bring you pictures of his arrival, and maybe try to get closer to him and get some reactions, of like expectations for the meeting. I am aware that there have been some consultations that have already been carried out ahead of this meeting, and so even though the idea is to essentially restore democratic government in Mali, it may end up in a roadmap that will have snippets of different situations, or if like different events that will finally arrive at getting a democratic government restored in Mali, and all these have implications for countries, other countries in West Africa, neighboring countries in West Africa, because there are implications really for refugee springing and so on, a breeding of refugees and so on. And so I'm just trying to give you a picture of how important this meeting is. So in my background there, you're seeing the Ghanaian delegation. I can spot the senior minister, the Honorable Yao Osafo Mafo. We have the Zongo Development Minister also, Mustafa Hamid. He's here. The Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Shelley Ayoko Buche, is also here, and they are essentially welcoming the dignitaries from across the West African sub-region and their aides. I'm told that they'll be ushered into their hotel rooms, where they'll prepare for that all-important meeting later today. So like I was giving you a brief of how important this meeting is. An overflow of refugees, if the situation in Mali is not curtailed, or if you like restored and dealt with, an overflow of refugees will mean that the other West African neighbors of Mali would have to open their borders to receive people who perhaps might be fleeing the territorial area of Mali. And in times of COVID, where governments are taking a hit and dealing with their own population needs, as very important as lending a helping hand and giving aid to humanitarian aid to other countries. This perhaps you say is not the best of times to be having that. And so essentially everybody, when I say everybody, I mean every other country within the West African sub-region stands, to benefit if a proper resolution is brought to the situation in Mali. And so definitely, as I'm saying, we're expecting some more arrivals. As of yet, there's none. I don't know, Mama V, if you have any question or any clarification you want to make.
No,
these are essentially the pictures that we have from here at the Kotoka International Airport.
So what we're going to do, Manuel, is to ask you to continue to be there and prompt us when another guest arrives. We'll come right back at you so you can give us a situational report. So we're staying with you, going off now and coming back as Manuel continues to be at the Kotoka International Airport to give us some more update. But just a little background to continue what Manuel was sharing with us, the situation in Mali. We know that President Keita of Mali, first of all, refused to step down, but he had been without a government since April when his prime minister and the rest of his government resigned amid an intensification of the civil war that has been raging, like Manuel pointed to back in 2012. President Keita formed a new cabinet in late July in an attempt to get a handle on the crisis. The Economic Community of West African States, that's where we come in because our president is now chairing Ecowas. It's a regional bloc and is attempting to mediate. It called for the formation of a unity government, the resignations of lawmakers whose elections were called into question, and the new elections. The bloc has also threatened sanctions against opposition groups who hinder a resolution to the crisis. So that's what essentially we're trying to resolve today. Mali's recent turmoil, as we have said already, began in 2012. So this is not an easy task. It's something that's been raging, really. And it first of all was carried out by soldiers opposed to what they saw as a weak response to a growing separatist insurgency by Tuareg rebels in the country's north. The insurgents were armed with weapons flowing from nearby Libya, following that country's 2011 civil war. So it's got a long stretch with several implications as well. As we host this meeting, remember that there are some very important routes here in the Greater Accra region that you can't access this morning. So we hope that you've had us, and so you're not using those routes so you become frustrated in the process. Manuel is still at the airport and will be telling us who touches down next at the Kotoka International Airport. That's the updates that we have with this ECOWAS meeting. Just to give you a reminder again, the roads that are closed that you can't access: Kotoka International Airport to the Liberation Road at Opebia, Airport bypass through the Liberation Road, Kempinski Hotel to National Theatre on the Independence Avenue, also Liberation Road through to N4 to Pediase Lodge. And again, Liberation Road from 37 to Obasanjo Streets, Tank Palace Hotel, and then Independence Avenue to Akwa-J. So don't get frustrated. Be warned ahead, even before you move. Find a plan B for your movement today, because some of these major roads will not be accessible because of the all-important ECOWAS meeting that Ghana is hosting, as our president is chairman of ECOWAS, trying to mediate and resolve this ongoing crisis in Mali. Still bringing you pictures from the Kotoka International Airport with our man Manuel Cranting stationed there, giving us situational reports on the arrival of the guests from the other Ecowas sub-region arriving in Ghana for this meeting. As he's already told us, some of the heads of state arrived yesterday. The president of Togo arrived this morning. We're still expecting some more to touch down in our country for this meeting today.
I think your time is expiring.
All right, Manuel is still at the airport. He'll be bringing us the update as and when there's anything new to report.